I'm Dr. Pavanka. I promised a different video for the Chinese medicine constitution. So with Chinese medicine, we kind of look at the animals' characteristics as well as their personality to kind of figure out what we're dealing with, because we're looking at different patterns. Chinese medicine, especially with veterinary medicine, I can't really speak for the human medicine, it's very individualized, and we do look at personality, what's going on in their life, different things, and we try to be very detailed and in-depth with our history taking. So a lot of times when you first come in and you come in to see Dr. Tolson or Dr. Habenecht or myself over Chinese medicine, we're going to ask you some really weird questions just to figure out what constitution your animal is. And you can do this with yourself too. I think that one of my professors, when I went to Chi University, did like the book Between Heaven and Earth for human quizzes for what constitution you are. I've heard that people typically are more than one. Animals are supposed to be one. That said, I feel like sometimes we have a couple mixed in there. So starting out, we kind of, just like with people, we have more introverted and we have more extroverted. So the patterns that you're going to see, or the constitutions you're going to see that are more extroverted, are typically your earth constitution, your wood constitution, and your fire constitution. Fire, or the emperor, they typically are fun-loving. They're very into coming up and saying, hi, what are you doing? I know that a lot of the fires that I have living in my household, they need a game to do things. Cortana kind of goes between, my dog kind of goes between fire and wood. And with her, the most fire thing that she does is when we had more livestock on the farm, I would have her help me carry the water. So I would put it in a sled, we put her little sled dog harness on, and she would have the time of her life playing the new game Pull. About half an hour through that game, she realized it wasn't actually a game and she was doing work. And that's where everything fell apart, because no longer a game, not fun, don't want to do it anymore. So they're more fun loving. They're not necessarily going to tell you how it is, but they're excited to come up and say hi. With our wood, we have more strong opinions. With humans, one of my professors, when I was going through Chi's acupuncture program, said that the wood people are the ones who are in the car and they're getting road rage because they're so backed up, and it's just so annoying to be in the car and they're waiting behind these people, and how stupid can they be, they're going so slow. The fire people are going to be the people who are like, oh, well, I don't know, they must have something else going on in their life. Like, you know, we'll find something, we'll turn on the music, we'll listen to audio tape, things like that. With the wood, I think if I remember correctly, the other term for it is the general. So they're very structured, they're going to tell you how it is, they're going to take leadership, they're in charge of things. A lot of times these are our mayors that kind of tell you how it is, and they're in charge of everything and they're going to keep everything in check. Not to be confused with metal. Metal typically aren't as extroverted, but they do have a strong sense of this is how it is. They're the ones who like everything the same. They don't really like things to change too much. They would be the ones that have their set, this is how our schedule is. I go here at this time, I do this at this time. With a lot of dogs, they'll have one spot that they want to go to the bathroom at, and they don't really want to go anywhere else. They're very structured. They're the animals who tell you, hey, you know what, it's bedtime and you haven't gone to bed yet. So that would be kind of more of our metal constitutions. Those are one of our more introverted ones. So I'm going to jump back to earth. Earth are typically with lesson horses. They're the ones that just everybody loves. They're perfect. A lot of times they do tend to be a little bit heavier set. They're very mellow, nurturing, motherly almost. And typically are the ones that they're just heart of gold. Everybody loves them. Very food motivated in most cases, but very friendly. They'll come up and say hi to you. They're not super motivated to compete. That's more our wood that are competitive. Fire, they want to play their game, so they can be a little bit competitive too. Okay, so I've gone through metal, I've gone through earth, I've gone through fire, and I've gone through wood, so that leaves water. And water is one of those that we kind of picture that cat that when somebody makes too out of a noise down the road a couple houses and the indoor cat runs and hides in the basement, those are our waters. So they're very easily spooked. They need a lot of comfort, and they typically do have more issues with that. It's kind of interesting that I say cat with this because we do associate that a lot more with cats. Because water, the element, would be looking at the organs for the Zangfu organs that are attached to that, would be bladder and kidneys. And a lot of times when we have issues with our cats, it is with bladder and kidneys. So that really fits with that. I was always taught that we don't really have water horses anymore because we bred them out because they were too difficult because they spooked at everything. I don't know if that's the case. I think you can argue both sides. But they typically are the really, really spooky animals that don't really like doing anything. It takes a lot of encouragement to get them to do anything and a lot of desensitization. But those are our waters. Let me know what you think your animal is or what you think you are even. Oh, don't fall, buddy. Okay, scooch up. You're gonna go that way? Okay. Apparently he wants to sit this way now. He's done with me. So do let me know if you have any questions or anything else, and I'm gonna see if I can grab Tat. There you go. You're gonna make me do qigong to get you. There you go. Hi, buddy. So let me know if you have any questions, what you think you are, what you think your animals are, and let me know. And by the way, this is Tat too. He's very sweet, but he also doesn't like to sit around, so he gets out. And because I have cats, he gets out on my shoulder most of the time. But do let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if there's any topics you want me to go over.